Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt, who here carries real weight? Not the loudest talker, not the one in the flashiest clothes, not the one gesturing grandly, but the quiet one, standing there, silent, not trying to prove anything. Yet every eye glances their way. They don't need to intimidate. They don't need to shout for attention. Their mere presence commands respect. On the flip side, have you ever noticed that the more you try to prove yourself, the less you're taken seriously? You speak, and someone interrupts. You react, and they smirk. You push harder, and they read you like an open book. The more you talk, the less power you hold. And then it hits you. In a world where everyone's scrambling to be heard, the one who stays silent is the one to be reckoned with. This video isn't about faking silence. It's not about turning you into someone you're not. It's a strategic roadmap grounded in Stoic philosophy to build a presence and character so strong that others take notice without you saying a word. We'll explore 6 states, from quiet stillness to unpredictable character, from silent action to unyielding truth. If you're tired of chasing recognition, if you've ever thought you need to talk more to be understood, today you might choose a different path. Silent but formidable. And if you want to become a sharper, unshakable version of yourself, subscribe to the channel now. Hit the bell so you don't miss any videos on inner strength, discipline, and presence. If you've ever felt dismissed for talking too much, comment, "I choose silence," below. If this resonates with you, like the video to let me know you're with me. And if you think someone else needs this message, share it with them. Sometimes a single video can wake someone up. Number 1, train your stillness. The first and most solid foundation for making others wary of you lies not in words, muscles, or status. It's in something seemingly simple yet incredibly rare: stillness. Not awkward, timid silence, but controlled stillness. The kind that others sense the moment you enter a room, without you saying a word. It's the stillness that keeps adversaries on edge because they can't guess what you're thinking, what you'll do next, or what you hold in your hand. In Stoic philosophy, this is a lifelong practice. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and philosopher, faced wars, rebellions, conspiracies, and enemies waiting for him to slip. Yet he didn't shout or react impulsively. What he trained daily was inner stillness, and that's the first thing you must learn. No one can unsettle you if you hold your calm. In today's world where everyone vies to stand out, the silent one becomes striking. But achieving that silence isn't just not talking. You must train your mind not to flinch at every provocation. It starts with the smallest reactions. When someone crosses you, do you snap back instantly? When criticized, do you immediately defend yourself? When emotions surge, can you control them or do they spill out? Stillness isn't in your face, it's in the gap between emotion and reaction. The wider that gap, the more formidable you become in others' eyes. Picture a lion. It doesn't roar constantly, it sits, eyes watching, unmoving, unhurried, and everyone knows its silence makes it dangerous. In contrast, smaller animals squeal and scurry. That's the difference between true inner strength and those trying to seem strong. Training stillness doesn't require complex techniques. Start simply. Practice silent meditation for 5 to 10 minutes daily. No music, no guidance. Just you, your breath, and observing your thoughts. When a thought arises, wanting to argue, justify, or vent, let it pass. Don't fight it. Don't cling to it. Don't judge it. This is how you build your inner muscle. The person who can sit calmly through a storm of emotions holds the deepest control. Then apply that stillness to daily life. When someone insults you, don't respond right away. When you see something wrong, don't speak up instantly. When bad news hits, don't react on autopilot. Instead, pause, observe, and ask the core Stoic question: is this in my control? If not, let it go. If it is, act without fanfare. That's what adversaries fear most: a person who knows what's in their power and what's not worth their energy. And you know what happens when you master stillness? You start making others uneasy, not because you threaten them, but because they can't rattle you. They'll try. They'll provoke you. They'll try to drag you into their emotional mud. But when you don't react, when you stand like a rock in the sea, they'll wonder, what's he thinking? What's he going to do next? And in their confusion, you've already taken the upper hand. This is when you realize stillness isn't just defense, it's strategy. A still person sees further, decides wiser, acts more effectively. Don't confuse silence with passivity. Silence is choosing not to waste energy on the unworthy, saving your sharpness for the right moment, the right place. If you've ever stayed silent and watched others adjust their behavior, you know how powerful that feels. If you haven't, today's the day to start. Try this today. Stay calm through every minor provocation. When someone argues, observe instead of interrupting. When something bothers you, write it down instead of reacting. When you're about to justify yourself, count to 5 and decide if it's worth speaking. Mastering just 10 such moments in a day sets you apart from 90% of people out there. And if you've truly tried, if you've held your stillness in a moment you'd normally explode, comment below this video, "I'm training my stillness." It's not just a statement, it's a quiet declaration that you're entering a territory few have the strength to inhabit. If this lesson feels timely and vital, like this video, not to make me stand out, but to mark for yourself, this is the day you begin training the calm of a warrior. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's the time. Because in the next parts, you'll learn to elevate your presence, control your emotions, become unpredictable, and act with undeniable weight. The journey to building presence doesn't start with clever words. It starts with learning to stay silent at the right time. Number 2, unshakable presence. Something strange happens when you're truly present. When your presence isn't scattered by anxiety, swayed by others' gazes, or propped up by a need to perform. People feel it, not with logic, but with instinct. They see you standing there, radiating nothing, not seeking attention, not showing off, not flustered, just there, like a solid mass in a noisy space. And suddenly, you hold the advantage, without speaking, without displaying power. Your unspoken steadiness makes them wary. In an age where attention is fractured by 100 streams of information daily, few can be fully present. When you talk to people, their eyes wander. When they listen, their hands check phones. During meetings, their minds drift to past worries or future fears. That's why someone who is wholly in the moment stands out. They're rare, and because of that, magnetic. Presence doesn't start on the outside, it begins within. A person with unshakable presence doesn't need to prove anything. They don't enter a room wondering, will people like me? They enter knowing, I don't need to be liked. That thought frees you. When you're not obsessed with impressing, you become still. And in that stillness, you emit an energy that makes others adjust themselves. How do you train unshakable presence? First, master your body. Notice, when anxious, you hunch your shoulders, close off, glance around, fidget. When flustered, you speak faster, breathe shallower, stand unsteady. These signal you're not here. You're controlled by thoughts, judgments, fears. So the first lesson is to slow down. Slow your steps, slow your gestures, slow your breath. When you slow down, you control yourself. And when you control yourself, you're fully present. After mastering your body, practice observing without reacting. When someone enters a room, instead of judging, are they attractive, rich, powerful? Just observe them like data passing by. This aligns with how Stoics live. No labels, no rushed conclusions, just seeing things as they are. When you observe without reacting, you build inner strength. Others sense it. They see you're not easily drawn in. And because you don't play the social game, you become distinct. A practical way to train presence is to hold eye contact during conversations. Don't look away. Don't shy off. Don't drop your gaze too quickly. Not a challenging stare, but a steady, calm, unwavering look. In a world where people avoid each other's eyes, someone who looks directly, not to dominate, but to be fully present, wields a quiet, undeniable strength. Beyond eyes, your voice shapes presence. A fully present person speaks slowly, clearly, without repetition or overemphasis. They know what they're saying. They know it carries weight. They don't need tricks to make it more impressive. In contrast, those who speak fast or excessively often doubt their own value, filling silence with sound. Practice saying less. Hit the point. Pause after each sentence. Let others feel the weight of your words. That's how Stoics use speech as a minimal, not maximal tool. In social settings, try the 100% presence rule. No phone checks, no planning your next words, just listen, just look, just feel. You'll be shocked. Doing this alone sets you apart from 80% of people. And from there, you become compelling, not because you're trying, but because you're truly there, which is rare. When you master full presence, you don't need to grab power in a room. You just are, and others adjust around you. They lower their voices, they speak clearer, they choose words carefully. Your energy forces them to take you seriously. That's what adversaries fear most. They can't mock you. They can't use emotions to sway you. They can't dismiss you like others. You're there, calm, still, unapproachable. And that's your strongest barrier. If today you step into a space and practice being fully present, not trying to be liked, not forcing, not performing, just being, you've taken a massive step. An unshakable person in a wavering world has their own gravitational pull. If you've ever done this in a specific situation, comment below. I'm building my presence. Writing it isn't just for me. It's a reminder to yourself that you're training a quiet but profoundly real power. If this section strikes a chord, like the video to bookmark it for yourself. You'll need these principles when life pulls you back to old habits. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. The next parts dive deeper. You'll learn to not react, to become unpredictable, and to act without needing any proclamation. The journey to becoming unshakable starts with being fully present in this very moment. Number 3, don't take the bait. If stillness is the foundation and presence is the fortress, the ability to not react is the iron gate, locking out anyone trying to provoke you, leaving them waiting in vain. There's a unique power in refusing to respond to things designed to enrage, entangle, or unbalance you. This is the third principle to master if you want others to tread carefully around you without saying a word. Don't take the bait. Every social interaction holds traps, not always overt attacks. Sometimes it's a subtle jab, a sly dig, a dismissive glance, or calculated indifference. These traps don't target your body. They aim straight for your emotions. If you react, you lose. If you stay calm, you win. Stoics understood this early. Epictetus said, "No one can harm you unless you let yourself be harmed." This isn't about pretending you're unbothered. It's a deeper truth. You choose your response. By choosing not to react, you strip control from your adversary. People will try to pull you into their game. They'll try to make you lose your cool, because when you explode, you're predictable. When you react, you expose weaknesses. When you get angry, you're drawn into their emotional arena. In that game, you're always at a disadvantage. Recall the last time someone got under your skin. Maybe a coworker threw a barb in front of others. Maybe a family member said something that brought you to tears. Maybe a stranger online attacked you. What happened? Your emotions spiked. Your heart raced. Your hands trembled. Your words slipped out of control. Then you acted in ways you didn't want. Afterward, regret set in. You asked, "Why did I let them drag me down?" The answer, you took the bait. You let emotions drive your actions. You handed control to the provocateur. But starting today, you can reclaim that power. Not reacting isn't about biting your tongue or passive endurance. It's an active choice to steady your nerves, like a soldier holding their post in a stormy night. You observe, you recognize their attempt to provoke, and you smile inwardly because you see their true face, and you don't respond. Not because you're weak, but because you know your response is valuable and reserved for what's worthy. To train this skill, start with the smallest daily frictions. When someone interrupts you, instead of snapping back, stay silent and observe them. When someone makes a tactless jab instead of firing back, look at them like they're a child playing a game. When someone misjudges your motives, instead of justifying yourself, stay quiet and let your actions speak later. Each time you restrain a reaction, you forge a layer of armor. Each layer makes it harder for adversaries to strike you. Marcus Aurelius had a powerful method for handling attacks. He reminded himself, "They can say what they want. They can't make me act as they want." That's true power, knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Walking past an insult like it's a breeze brushing your face, not because you don't feel it, but because you choose not to act on instinct. Will people think you're weak for not reacting? Maybe, but only the shallow judge strength by outbursts. Those with depth will fear someone unshaken. The more you stay silent under attack, the more you unsettle your opponent. They'll wonder, what does he know that he's not saying? What's his next move? That's when you hold full control. By hiding your emotions, you maintain mystery. By maintaining mystery, you keep the upper hand. If you face a triggering situation today, use it as practice. Don't think, "I must endure." Think, "I'm running the game." Observe the other person, observe your emotions, stretch the moment between the event and your response. Sit with it like a Stoic, cool, clear, knowing you don't need to prove anything. If you succeed, note it silently. You don't need to tell anyone. Just know, today you didn't take the bait. If you've ever reacted impulsively and regretted it, you're not alone. But from this moment, you can choose differently. If you've ever stayed calm in a situation where others would have unraveled, comment below, "I hold control." It's not just words. It's an inner declaration that you've stepped out of the victim's role and into the director's chair. If today's lesson hits home, like the video to mark the day you enter a new state, not reacting to protect yourself, but to affirm your strength. And if you haven't subscribed, now's the perfect time. The next part teaches an even higher skill, becoming unpredictable and unreadable, a trait that truly makes you an enigma others tread carefully around. Hit subscribe to not miss the next step in building unshakable inner strength. Number 4, be unreadable. There's a kind of power that requires no muscle, no threats, not even a loud presence. It's unpredictability. When you make yourself unreadable, you become an enigma in every situation. And in any psychological game, an enigma is what people fear most. Why? Because people don't fear what they know. They fear what they can't understand, can't grasp, can't control. By being unreadable, you disrupt others' ability to manipulate you. You throw off their rhythm. You don't need to strike. Simply not revealing yourself makes them hesitate to act rashly. Being unreadable isn't a trick. It's not about forcing a cold or mysterious facade. It comes from genuine inner strength, from a stability that lets you keep your emotions off your face and out of your actions. Readable people react predictably. They slump when sad, yell when angry, snap back when insulted, bloom under praise. A few words and their opponent has them figured out. Once figured out, they're controllable. But an unreadable person is different. They reveal only what they choose. They observe. They wait for the right moment to act. And when they do, others are caught off guard. Stoic philosophy has long championed this, not through deceit or detachment, but through deliberate restraint. Seneca wrote, "Don't let others know what you think unless you're sure they're worthy of it." This isn't paranoia, it's agency. You're not obligated to broadcast every feeling. You don't need to share every emotion with everyone. Privacy isn't dishonesty, it's a shield for your personal freedom. By speaking less, revealing less, and acting with calm, you make others wary. How do you train unreadability without losing authenticity? First, notice when you overexpose your emotions. Each time you hear something and instantly show a reaction, ask, "Was that necessary?" Most emotional outbursts don't serve you. They just feed your ego momentarily. But they cost you predictability. Every grimace, eye roll, mutter, or sigh is a signal to others. Each time you give something away too easily, you expose a crack. Start practicing intentional silence. In a conversation, pause 2 seconds before responding. In an awkward moment, smile faintly instead of explaining. When someone provokes you, don't reply with words. Respond with a steady gaze and composure. Not because you're afraid to speak, but because you don't need to. This forces others to reflect on their own behavior. A powerful strategy for unreadability is acting unexpectedly while staying true to your values. For example, when attacked with harsh words, don't fire back with venom. Ask a neutral question or say nothing. When others expect anger but you smile and move on, they're thrown off. That gap where they can't predict you is where you control the game. Remember, you're not obligated to share every plan, thought, or feeling with everyone. Some things are yours alone. Some emotions should be processed in silence. Stoics call this inner control, not to hide truth, but to protect energy. Sharing too much makes you vulnerable. Restraint keeps you in command. That makes you someone adversaries can't anticipate. Avoid the opposite trap, trying to seem mysterious. That just feels forced. The key is living from your inner strength, speaking only what's necessary at the right time to the right person. Let your actions speak louder than words. Let results show what you're doing. You don't need to announce every move. The truly strong make others look back and realize, he did all that without a single boast. If you're someone others easily read, start by observing yourself in conversations. How much information, emotion, or personal intent do you reveal? Try a week of not sharing personal plans with anyone unnecessary. A week of not reacting impulsively to provocation. A week of listening more than speaking. You'll be surprised. People start asking you more, watching you closer, treading carefully, because they no longer have you figured out. If you've ever successfully held controlled mystery and seen its impact, comment below. I'm an enigma. It's a simple phrase, but it represents a rare state in today's world, where most expose everything for attention. If this lesson makes you realize you've overshared in the past, and now's the time to hold some back for yourself. Like the video to mark the moment you start living with more intent. If you know someone whose emotions are easily manipulated, share this video with them. Sometimes what they need isn't advice, but an example that you don't have to live exposed to earn respect. And if you haven't subscribed, now's the best time. The next part teaches how to act in silence, how to wield real influence without any declarations. Once you're unreadable, The next step is making every action a strategy, quiet but devastatingly effective. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss the next step in building unshakable inner strength. Number 5, act in silence. In this noisy world, people rush to announce plans, flaunt every step, and seek validation for every small win. But the truly formidable don't do this. They stay silent. They act. They let results speak. And that's why they're fearsome. No fanfare, no oversharing, no clamor. They do what needs doing, and by the time others notice, it's done. That's when you realize the silent aren't idle. They're 3 steps ahead, just without telling you. Acting in silence isn't a tactic. It's a way of life. It's the mindset of someone who values time, focus, and energy. Every time you announce what you'll do, you create external expectations and self-imposed pressure. Every time you broadcast plans, you invite doubts and chatter. Worst of all, you trick your brain into feeling accomplished just for speaking. But talking isn't doing. Talking is a mental trap that breeds false security. Doing transforms the real world. Stoics don't proclaim, they don't advertise, they live by the principle. Finish the work, then let results speak. Epictetus wrote, "Don't boast you're a philosopher, live like one, and others will see it." This applies everywhere. Don't brag about changing, change quietly. Don't announce your training, let your body show it. Don't say you'll succeed, let your actions yield undeniable outcomes. Why is acting in silence so powerful? It frees you from others' expectations. When you don't need to prove anything, you're not pressured to be perfect. You can err, adjust, fail, retry, without scorn or mockery. No one knows where you are in your journey, giving you freedom to create. Silence also sharpens strategy. You don't let others predict your next move. You don't show your hand early. This keeps you psychologically ahead. Another reason silent action works, it builds focus. Talking too much scatters you. You start performing instead of producing. You invest in image over substance. By the time you notice, you've built a hollow shell. The truly strong know what matters deserves discretion. They don't flaunt finances, strategies, or personal matters, not to hide, but because they know what's worth keeping close. To train silent action, first reframe your need for recognition. Accept that no one needs to know you're trying. No one needs to applaud your progress. No one needs to watch you sweat. Erase the urge to be seen from your success equation. True success needs no stage. It happens in empty mornings, unnoticed nights, moments you choose doing over talking. When you act without seeking eyes, you shed artificial pressures. Start small. Learning a skill? Don't tell, just learn. Exercising regularly? Skip the story. Keep training. Building a business plan? Don't announce, execute. When something's truly done, strong, sharp, solid, let others feel it. You don't introduce a honed blade. You draw it when the time's right. They say silence is the weapon of those who've outgrown noise. It's true. The more you mature, the less you talk about what you're doing. Not from fear of sharing, but because you know actions hold inherent value. No embellishment, no praise needed, just execution. One act can outshine 100 promises. One clear result can silence all doubts. A quiet, effective presence always commands attention. Maybe you've relied on sharing to stay motivated. Try a week without it. Don't tell friends. Don't post online. Let no one know, just do. Keep doing until you stop caring what others think, because you know you're on the right path. That quiet becomes your armor, shielding you from distraction, excess emotion, and self-deception. When you no longer need recognition to act, you've climbed a new rung of personal freedom. Silent action keeps others on edge. They don't know what you're preparing. They can't gauge the strength you're building. They can't judge you by words because you don't offer them. This forces them to watch closely, tread carefully, respect you. No one underestimates someone who doesn't perform. If you've ever succeeded after quietly grinding, you know how potent that feels. No one knew, no one clapped. Just you and inner satisfaction. Clean, deep, real. If you're on that path, comment, "I'm acting." No details needed. Just affirm. And if this section hits something in you, like the video as a silent vow to yourself, you'll stop talking and start doing. If you haven't subscribed, do it now. The next part unveils the highest state of unshakable strength, living with radical authenticity. Once you've mastered stillness, presence, non-reaction, unreadability, and silent action, the final step is living so true that no one can touch you with falsehood. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss the next step in forging unbreakable inner strength. Number 6, radical authenticity, stillness, presence, unreadability, and silent action. All that you've trained for on this journey lose their value if you pursue them only for an outward image of strength while neglecting what matters most, your true self. In a world where everyone strives to be palatable, marketable, or impressive, someone who dares to live fully as themselves is the rarest thing. This is the final level. Radical authenticity, truth to your core, no frills, no show, no sugarcoating. Just you, in your rawest form, undistorted by the need for others' approval. Stoic philosophy always emphasizes truth, not just of the world, but of yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be yourself without pretense. Everything else is a burden." The radically authentic don't spill every thought. They act in complete alignment with their core values, regardless of others' opinions. They don't play roles, don't compromise principles, and don't need to fit any mold to be accepted. They are themselves everywhere. This isn't impulsive individuality, but a deep inner consistency. When you don't hide, you don't fear exposure. When you live authentically, you don't worry about how you appear to others. That frees you from fear of rejection, of not fitting in, of not being cool enough, of standing out too much. The truly formidable are unbound by these fears. But living authentically to your core demands overcoming a huge barrier, the fear of not being accepted. From childhood, we're taught to be good, to conform, to meet standards. We grow up needing to blend in by erasing our uniqueness. That's why many fear being different, speaking against the crowd, dressing out of style, pursuing lowly work, or living unconventionally. So they live inauthentically, pleasing others, often others who are also living inauthentically. Radical authenticity requires asking yourself tough questions. What do I truly believe? How do I really want to live? Am I living by my standards or chasing external validation? Most crucially, do I dare be myself even if no one supports me? Answering these honestly builds an unshakable foundation. The radically authentic need little. Not excessive praise, not crowd approval, not a social mask, not a stage. They live by their beliefs, do what they know is right, and gain a profound freedom no one can control. Here's the twist. Your authenticity makes inauthentic people uneasy. They'll call you stubborn, weird, eccentric, even dangerous. Not because you're wrong, but because you remind them of what they've forsaken. Your truth mirrors their pretense. Not everyone likes mirrors. This authenticity isn't rebellion, anger, or defiance. It's a quiet inner certainty. You know who you are and what matters. When you don't chase image, praise or criticism can't sway you. Stoics teach, if what you do is right, no one needs to know. If it's wrong, no one's awareness saves you. The authentic don't need to prove anything. They just live. Their presence says it all. How do you train radical authenticity? First, write down what you truly believe, core values you won't trade. Then compare them to how you live, work, and communicate. Are you doing anything just to please someone? Hiding something for fear of judgment? Wishing you could say something but holding back? Face these bravely, not to punish yourself, but to live truer, bit by bit. Next, practice saying no when needed. Each refusal of something misaligned with your values affirms your true self. Not to be obstinate, but to not betray yourself. Saying no to small mismatches makes space to say yes to what truly matters. Prepare for this. Living authentically may cost you relationships that don't fit. You'll leave social circles built on validation. You won't be agreeable to all, but you'll gain something greater, inner peace. No one can make you doubt yourself if you live by your truth. No one can manipulate you with flattery or scorn. That makes you untouchable. If you've ever stood for what you believe despite opposition, comment, "I live true." It's a sign you're done with half measures. Not to please anyone, but to not disappoint yourself. If this section touches something deep, like the video to mark the moment you choose to live truer, not perfectly, but without hiding. If you know someone straining to fit the world, share this video. Today might be the day they need a reminder. They're enough as themselves. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. In the final part, we'll solidify everything you've built, turning these lessons into your living identity, not just theory. We'll reach the culmination, a self that cannot be manipulated. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss the final step in forging unbreakable inner strength. You don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to intimidate to be feared. You don't need to perform to be respected. What you need and can truly train is a quiet but razor-sharp strength, a mind still as a lake in a storm, a presence that shifts the room when you enter, an ability to not react to attacks, to conceal your strategy, to skip announcing plans, and above all, a life so true that there's nothing left to hide, no one left who can manipulate you. If you've journeyed with me this far, you're not the same person you were. You don't need others to change for your peace. You don't need a gentle world to be strong, because you've become someone unbreakable. Now it's time to choose action. Comment below the video, "I'm ready." It's a silent vow to yourself that you'll live differently starting today. Like this video if you found this journey worthwhile. And if you know someone caught in their emotions, living for others' approval, share this video with them. It might be what they need. Finally, if you haven't subscribed, do it now. This isn't just a place for theory. It's for those who choose to live awake, resilient, and true. Every day, every action, every moment. Remember, the most dangerous person doesn't need to threaten anyone. They just need to be silent and uncontrollable.